One of the biggest reasons that I ended up going to a boot camp instead of just teaching myself how to code was I was looking for the accountability. I know that I, as a person, don't have the most extreme self-control and willpower. So being in a classroom setting from day to day made sure that I was accomplishing far more than what I would have ever accomplished on my own. Once I was out of my boot camp, I found it extremely challenging to find motivation. So today I've got some tips for staying motivated during your job search. Tip number 1 is do some reflecting and make sure you understand why you're doing this. Find your why. Doing a little bit of self-discovery and really understanding that is only going to help you over the long run. You're going to get a better understanding of how you can motivate yourself. You are going to be able to communicate a better story to future employers. If you are able to communicate your why you are willing to spend the time and all of the effort to become a developer, you're going to be able to better convince that employer to hire you. The perks of being a software developer are numerous, and I'm biased, I know it. I think that it is a lucrative job for some sort of 9-to-5 job. There's a lot of flexibility in a lot of different companies. Companies are competing with each other to offer the best benefits for their developers. So many companies have unlimited paid time off, and that's not even the big tech companies either. But those are kind of shallow reasons to want to become a developer, in my opinion. If you're able to list a few reasons why you intrinsically love to do this, maybe you really love patterns and you've been able to prove this over the years of the different puzzles you've worked on for fun. Did you grow up playing really fun video games that involved a lot of logic? A lot of people just have some fascination with technology, and looking back, it really makes sense that they have transitioned into technology because they've been tinkering around with computers for so long. Personally, looking back, I think it makes sense that I went this direction because I loved learning spoken languages. I majored in Spanish, I minored in Italian, and then after I graduated college, I moved to a German-speaking country. So I picked up German. And that process of learning the languages and the patterns that are involved in the languages is just really fun to me. There are so many ways your why might play into the reason that you're looking into this industry. So take some time, reflect on it, and be able to put it into words as best you can. Tip number 2, manage your time well. So this video is about motivation and how to find motivation, but unfortunately the reality is there are going to be days when you just don't have motivation, and you need to find a system to be able to push through and continue making progress, continue learning, continue applying to job after job, even though you don't have a ton of motivation. So if your motivation is going to run out at a certain point in time, put a system in place so that you can continue to be productive without that motivation. One of the tricks that they coached us to use when I was in boot camp was the Pomodoro technique, where I don't know why it's called the Pomodoro technique, it means tomato in Italian. But if you look it up, there are little timers that you can even buy online in the shape of a little tomato, and it's a 25-minute timer. The Pomodoro technique consists of setting a timer for 25 minutes and sitting down and focusing solely on a task that you've decided on for 25 minutes. After the 25 minutes, take a short little break, like a 5-minute break or so, and continue doing those 25-minute Pomodoros. After 4 Pomodoros, take a longer break, up to like 30 minutes or so, to really give your brain another big rest. Of course, there's going to be little distractions that try to come your way, But it's easier knowing that you're only focusing on this work for 25 minutes and then you can write that text message to the person that you just remembered you need to write. Making that switch from not working to focusing on something that is probably going to be hard to focus on, your brain isn't going to want to make that switch. But once it's in that mode of focusing and thinking hard, it's got a little bit of momentum and you can keep going for those 25 minutes. Interestingly, there have been studies that prove motivation doesn't cause accomplishments. It's actually the other way around. You have to accomplish a few things and that creates motivation. Once you recognize that you're starting to make a little bit of progress on something, that just makes you want to continue making progress on that thing. So this is why I like the Pomodoro technique. It is kind of like taking a cue from Nike and sitting down and just doing it, and that will help you find your motivation eventually. Tip number 3, find some accountability. Going back to the whole reason that I went to boot camp, I was in need of a little bit of accountability throughout the day. It really skyrocketed the amount that I was able to learn in a very short time. How can you find accountability if you're not in a boot camp, whether you graduated or you never went to a boot camp at all? Find a group project to work on. Find some volunteer work. If there is a group of people either expecting to work with you or expecting you to accomplish something for them, you can't let them down. It's going to feel really, really crummy if you let those people down. So you're going to have the added pressure on yourself to push through and, again, just start. Something that I have been doing the past couple of weeks that's helped a lot. I have a friend that I check in with very frequently, and we're accountability buddies. My friend has a business that he's growing, and he has tasks every single day that he wants to accomplish. I have tasks like making these YouTube videos, editing these YouTube videos that I'm trying to accomplish on a daily or weekly basis. So we will check in with each other and say, hey, these are the 3 things that I'm going to accomplish by tomorrow. Be very specific about the tasks that you want to accomplish and just make sure that they are attainable. You're going to make more progress even if you're making small steps daily than if you have this huge goal for yourself or even like a medium-sized goal for yourself and you are trying to start doing work. I like the thought process, James Clear with Atomic Habits. Make things small and attainable, and you can't fail. You're going to create a habit out of it, and you're going to get used to making progress. You can always exceed the goals that you are telling your accountability buddy that you're going to accomplish, but you need to make sure that you're achieving them at the very least. Last tip is envision yourself having completed your goal. This one goes back to knowing your why and also knowing that you've identified your goals and the whys that relate to your goals. Take time at least every week or so, preferably more frequently, to picture yourself in the spot where you have achieved that goal. Take the time to feel what that feels like. When you're spending that time regularly, really thinking about what it is that you want and what that life looks like that you're working towards, it's going to be easier for you to go ahead and spend the time working on that goal and putting in the effort to accomplish those little steps of the way. And know that you're going to get very motivated during this, but you're going to have to continue keeping it up regularly because motivation dissipates. Think about tying this into some habit that you're already doing every single day anyway. Maybe it's whenever you're making your coffee in the morning, or it's every time you actually sit down and start eating. Think about how you could incorporate this into a schedule so that you don't forget to do it. That's it for today, friends. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have learned something that will help you stay motivated during your job search. If job searching is something that you've been debating if you should really be doing right now, check out my video here. I'll go into detail about why I think you should.